Flannery's in Fruitland for Owen Temple, rising star in the Austin music scene.
Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. I've been in and out of every bar here in Nashville, seen nothing but broken promises and empty dreams. Everyone here thinks they're on the verge of stardom, but nothing here is what it seems. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. Now the Grand Ole Opry ain't playing in the Ryman. They moved it out of town down the road a little ways. They say it's the same, but I know it's something different from old Hank Williams' days. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. This motel room is filled with songs that don't ring true. Doing what I love don't make sense like it used to. Deep down inside, I guess I always knew this Tennessee road leads back to you. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby. Tennessee highway, Tennessee highway, take me home to see my Texas baby.
Hey there, it's Billy Earl, and here we are on Del Marvelous Americana Live, and we are honored. We have Owen Temple from Austin, Texas. Look at my shirt if you don't know what that is. This is really what I would consider to be the home, the center of Americana music in the world. I don't care what you say about LA or New York, it's Austin, Texas. Nashville's not even on my map for this because they overproduce everything. Anyway, enough of my bitching and moaning. Mr. Temple, thank you so much for taking your time from your busy schedule. We welcome you, sir.
Good to be with you.
We are in the midst of a series of concerts here with people from Austin, Texas, and we're doing a little promo here. And the first thing I'd like to know is, as a young man, what made you get up one day and say, I'm going to get me a guitar, I'm going to sing, I'm going to write songs, and that's going to be my way of living?
Hmm. Well, I grew up in Kerrville, Texas, which is
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, good. They're familiar there. A small, it's a small town, but it does have a pretty legendary folk festival that's been there for many, many years. So when I was a kid, we went out there and uh, saw a guy with his guitar talking to the people, singing to the people, and it was Gary P. Nunn and
Yeah.
Robert O'Keen and Hal Ketchum and Lyle Lovett. And it just showed me that the stories that I love to hear could also be sung. I was writing some of them, doing some short stories as a young guy, but then, whoa, you can put it together with the guitar and then sing it. So that was kind of a big revelation for me. And then the records of Jerry Jeff Walker, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
which introduced me to so many writers. It was like an anthology of like, hey kid, read the names of the songwriters here, and then I'm still searching to the ends of those roads that those records opened.
Are you self-taught on the guitar?
I took lessons. I took from a good old family friend around who gave guitar lessons. He showed
Well, I wish
he
I
showed
had.
me C, F, G, and then he said, "You're dangerous now."
um, at what point did you discover your voice?
Let's think. I grew up in the Presbyterian church, and we were singing. I was in choir as a little kid too, so I think I remember a particular version of "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." So
Okay.
it was those. Well, I don't know. Yeah, no. All kidding aside, really, all the singing in church, and then also we lived a little outside of town, about 45 minutes outside of Kerrville. Every trip into town included 8-track Johnny Cash 8-track tapes or
Right.
Willie Nelson 8-track tapes. So there was a lot of singing in the car too. I think, yeah, yeah. My favorite quote about singing is a Sam Cooke quote that this changed my viewpoint. Somebody complimented Sam Cooke on his voice, and they said, "So beautiful." He said, "Well, thank you. But the way I judge a voice is not really how it's beautiful, but whether I believe the singer." And so
Interesting.
yeah, so that kind of went, oh, we don't all have to sing the same way. It's just people need to believe you. You need to believe what you're singing so that other people believe it.
Interesting remark. Yeah, that's profound.
Yeah, I think
As
so too.
as you're getting started in the business, um, what were your first stops?
Well, I was lucky enough to go to college here in Austin, and when I got here, I realized that you could play gigs. Whoa, you could, and they'd give you $40. You know what I mean? And
Whoa, big time. Beer money.
all the beer you could drink. What? So that was great. There's a place called O. Henry's Back 40 in Austin that had an opening on Tuesday nights. Everybody, hot night, Tuesday nights. Everybody loves to go out on Tuesdays. So they're like, it's 10 to 2, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Okay.
Yeah.
$40, all the natural light you could drink. Now, I think that turned me into a songwriter because all of a sudden I had 4 hours to fill, and it was I was like, I need to start making up some songs. So I
Uh-huh.
started making them. I started making them up.
How did you how did you enter into your voice as a writer? I know that's hard for most people.
I don't know. I was a big Hemingway fan growing up as a kid,
Okay.
and so I read a little bit about what Hemingway said. Say it clearly, say it, short as you
Yep.
can. Like you're throwing punches. I heard that he wrote standing up because you can't throw punches sitting down. You know. So I don't know, just trying to be as clear and descriptive, so that people could get a picture in their mind.
It strikes the listener as being authentic, as being conversational, as being like you're sitting around the potbelly stove in Azle, Texas, and it's storytelling night, and people are talking about things that have happened in their life, have affected them, and by and large have influenced the way they think and act.
I think you're right. Three words kind of mean something to me. Maybe they mean something to you too. People, places, things. You
Hmm.
know, I like songs that have like objects in them. Like, did you shake them and the things jumble around, or places pop up in 3D? Um, yeah, people in settings with doing stuff.
So you went to UT undergraduate?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
What'd you study?
I studied liberal arts, like an liberal arts honors program. That means
Okay.
I got to read a bunch of books that they were like, "What are you going to do with that?" It's like, I don't know, but I'm just going to read it.
Yeah,
Why
same.
do you need to read Russian novelists? Like, yeah.
My daddy used to ask me that all the time, and I'd say, "Why not?" Not a very good answer, actually.
Oh man, I just learned to think, and that was it was actually a great place for me. People maybe learn to think and learn to write, and learning that writing is just think is the most useful thing about writing is that you have to think to
Uh-huh.
do it. Sometimes more useful than even the writing. It's like, oh, now I know what I think.
Yeah. My sister went to UT, and my daughter went to Trinity down
Yeah,
there in San Antonio. Good little school.
they sure are. Yeah, Trinity's
Good
special.
little school. So, as a young man, you're just getting started. Who are you listening to and saying, "I can do that. I can do
You
that."
know, yeah, yeah. I learn a lot from like I said, people's stories. Besides learning the songs, just sitting there and learning the song, copying, writing down the words of a Merle Haggard song and seeing, oh, this is how lines kind of, oh, he rhymes every other line. Oh,
Uh-huh.
and the choruses are shorter and every line rhymes. Okay. So I really think there's something about just being a copyist
Uh-huh.
to learn a bunch of songs that made a big difference. Then I'd say I read a lot of biographies. I read, it's kind of like how they do it. How did they do it? And so I'd read Johnny Cash's biography and autobiography whenever I could find it. Sometimes they've written memoirs, but that was really helpful for me too, because I was like, oh my gosh, they were just as uncertain and just stumbling around and looking for somewhere to sing. So it kind of demystified it for me. And then also just good old friendships like around Austin, like Corey Morrow. He's a young
Uh-huh.
songwriter, and he was even younger then. And uh, he said, "Hey," he came in one Tuesday night. He was one of the three people in the club, the night I was playing. He said, "Hey, I just made a record with Lloyd Maines. You should make a record with Lloyd Maines. Here's his number." And that is no kidding, just the generosity of Corey. He was something cool happened to him, rather than try to okay, nothing. No, he was like, let's. You've written songs. You should make a record. So that was really generous. And I called Lloyd. Lloyd said, send me the songs on a tape. No harmonies, no leads, just you
Just the
singing.
song.
Yeah. And I waited for several weeks, watching my answering machine, uh, hoping for a reply back. And then finally I got a reply, and the voicemail said, yeah, let's make a record.
Boy, he is a gigantic figure in
Sure.
Texas music.
That's true.
When I moved to Texas in 1999, I think the two artists that I had never heard of before that just blew me away. The first one was Jimmy LaFave. And
Oh, yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be affiliated at that point with a little Lutheran church, and he was coming there to play. And I was part of the group that was setting up. And it turns out his bass player at the time was from Baltimore, Maryland, which is kind of where I grew up.
Yeah.
And so I started listening to his songs, especially the Dylan song, because I was a big Dylan fan. But I thought, gee, many Christmas, this boy is making these sound so much better
He's a
than
great
Mr.
interpreter.
Bob ever did. And then there was Ray Wiley Coyote.
Nice.
I've met him. In fact, we both got sober at the same AA group in Dallas. And
Oh,
I've talked to him over the years and tried to book him for a million different things. And Judy's just as nice as she can be, saying, Billy Earl, that's just not big enough. We don't do house concerts anymore. You know, it's just not our
yep,
thing. But
gotcha.
he's quite a character.
He's a character, and he's also huge in the same way that you mentioned Lloyd is. He's just consulted with so many young songwriters. I mean, giving them books to read, telling them records to listen to. Um, just he's always been generous. He's another person that has been like, hey, the more the merrier. Come on in. It's better. It's better. It's better with more of us. And so, and he's also just been he's also had very high standards too. Like
Oh yeah.
that doesn't mean that anybody that just wants to bang around and pretend it's a great song. No, no, I mean, by example shows you there's a such thing as quality and there's such thing as craft. And he doesn't let himself off the hook. Even if
Right,
there's
right.
certain songs of his that he doesn't admire as much, he'll tell you he doesn't admire them, and then he'll play it anyway.
Well, he's a hero of mine, and nobody else on planet Earth could have written Snake Farm and Screw You, I'm from Texas,
No,
which I
no.
still play here.
Oh man, I love it. I love him, and yeah, you're right. He's huge.
Well, what's coming up for you? I know you're going to be in some place called Fruitland, Maryland soon, which I think is just wonderful.
Me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to being there in a couple of weeks. So that's coming up.
Yep.
I'm and we're going to do the house concert there with you, Billy Earl, on Friday the 12th. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And then on the 13th, we'll be with your amigo, Dave, up in Kent Island.
On Kent Island, yeah, I'll be there too.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, look forward to that. My new album, Rings on a Tree, came out at the end of September. It's my ninth album, and has 15 songs on it. So I'm still enjoying playing these new songs, of course, and along with the old ones. I'm still writing a lot. I'm writing with Tina Wilkins, Walt Wilkins' uh, partner,
Yeah.
and tomorrow we got a song about halfway done. So that's something I try to do every week is do a little bit of writing and playing shows here in San Antonio and Houston and Dallas and then Maryland. It's
Okay.
they're on the way.
Um, where are you headed on this trip, on this part of your tour?
Yeah, I'm just these two house concerts with you. I'm flying in, also seeing some family in DC and in
Oh,
Virginia. Yeah, so got some Virginia roots up there. I'm gonna see some friends and family. So yeah, it's not a whole lot of work, but it's a little bit of work, a little bit of family, and then come back, and then I'll come back in the spring.
well, that's nice. Where are your people in Virginia?
Around Tappahannock and around there, around Miller's Tavern, family, friends. You
Okay.
know most of my family was they lived around there in the 1800s, but there's still clues and traces of them. To tell you the truth, that history is a big part of my songwriting. I really feel like that these people, places, things, the things they cared about, can be, you know, kept alive through songs in a way that, the pages of a genealogy book don't really do justice to the richness of people's lives. And I really find history to be a big source for my songwriting. It's
Wow.
a well I go back to as often as I can.
Well, if you ever have any questions about genealogy, Mother is the genealogist for the Daughters of the American Revolution there in
Oh, neat.
Dallas,
Yeah.
and she just lives for that stuff. You know, it's got to be a calling because to most people, it's tedious.
There's a lot of tedium to it, and I feel like people like your mother are the heroes that are willing to do the detective work. I kind of get to jump around behind them and go, "Oh, cool! Look at that photo you found. Oh, cool! Look at oh, they were really from there." So I'm not really in the trenches. I'm more just kind of like, "Well, hey, we can make a song about that. Oh, we
Uh-huh.
can make a song about that." You know.
Well, I tell you, I applaud her for doing it, but it is a labor of love. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay, we have come to the end of our time here. February 11th for Grace Pettit. Adios, amigos.